Welcome to the official Nintendo podcast.
Usually on sale now. $3.99.
Unbelievable.
Bosh.
Hello and welcome to the official Nintendo Magazine podcast. It's podcast number 39. You may not recognise this voice. This is Matthew Castle, Associate Editor. I'm afraid Chandra is away today. He's, I don't know, he's on some kind of secret mission or something. You can all go and speculate about it. Is it F-Zero on Wii U? Who knows? It probably isn't. I'm joined in the studio today by an exciting team of people. Who have we got here? Go around, starting with you to my left.
Hello, I'm Thomas East.
Hello, I'm Chris Goyen, online editor of Nintendo-Gamer.net. It's brilliant.
What? Who invited you?
Yeah, I crashed it.
Unbelievable.
Hello, I'm Gavin Murphy, the brains behind Nintendo TV.
Hello, I'm Joe Screbbles. I'm staff writer and genius.
Staff writer and genius. Well, they're going to attest to that. And we're going to kick off with what we've been playing.
I like to think I'm quite good at platformers. That is a lengthy task.
I'll tell you what, I'm really there. I'm really there.
It's really good. It's really
awesome.
Yeah,
utter rubbish in it.
blobs. Awesome. Also really cool. Really? Yeah.
That's a really good
Not
one.
my cup of tea, those sort of games.
Really?
They're not mine usually either, but every spare minute of my time, that's really the best.
Game over.
So the big review for this month and the big release for this month is Pokemon Black and White 2. Chris, I think you've been playing this.
Yeah, I've been playing it. I mean, I didn't play it for the reviewer. That was someone else who reviewed it, I believe.
Chris Schilling.
Chris Schilling, yeah, very good man. But yeah, I'm playing Black and White 2 at the moment. And yeah, it's good. It's basically, as the first kind of proper sequel to a Pokemon game, it feels a lot like Black and White, as you would expect. But yeah, it's just a different storyline and yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Do you think it does enough to justify for people who've played hundreds of hours of Black and White?
It does. I mean, there's one niggle that's been annoying me, and I was just speaking to Tom about this a while back, was that it still gives you the kind of hour and a half's worth of tutorials at the start, which is, I mean, and the argument in the past has been, yeah, but young kids get into Pokemon at each generation, so they need to reteach them. But this is the first proper sequel, so at the start it should have said, have you played Black and White 1? Yep. Alright. Here's your shoes.
Yeah.
Do one.
Doesn't it have like a difficulty mode or something?
Not that I saw. It was just like start a
Pokemon
game.
World Tournament.
Does it unlock at the end?
When you finish,
Yeah, when
you
you
get a difficulty
finish, there's
challenge or something.
But the fact is, at the start, there's still someone says, "Let me show you how to catch a Pokemon," and you have to sit and watch them. And oh, come on!
Yeah.
But once you're past
unnecessary.
that, it's that typical nowadays Nintendo tutorial thing that happens in so many games. Once the first hour or two is out of the way, then it gets good again. But yeah, it's I mean, it's essentially Black and White with a new storyline. So
We've been playing it for Nintendo TV, and I loved Pokemon Black and White, and it's just pretty much the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like the 3DS stuff that's coming out for it looks really, really good, but that hasn't. What was it called? Like Dream
Radar.
Dream Radar.
Yeah,
That looks
Dream
pretty
Radar.
cool, and the updated version of the
Pokedex.
Pokedex.
Yeah.
I think the thing is about it, for me anyway, it's not quite as exciting as the first one, because you had that thing about you were catching all new monsters, which was quite exciting, took you back to the early days, whereas this time it's like, oh yeah, here we go, more of the same, but good.
And also, it seems like it only came out
I'm
just over a year ago anyway, because it came out in March 2011, didn't it?
Yeah.
2011.
yeah.
That's not that long ago.
But, they've always done that with those director's cuts. And, is it worthwhile having... This is the thing, I haven't played it yet, but is it worthwhile, do you think, in future, if they want to do more of this in the same world, having a sequel rather than the director's cuts they always did before? Like, I can't tell whether it's a better option or not.
Yeah. I mean, if they'd done Pokemon Grey instead, and it was just the same game with a couple of extra bits, it'd be a bit.
Surely it's
but
a better option. To have a sequel
Definitely
where
is.
you
It's a
saw it.
completely new storyline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
They probably did it just because Pokemon Grey sounds so boring.
does.
Oh God, we've got to come up with something.
At the same time, I'm glad they called it Black and White too, because it clearly is black and white with little. I mean, if they'd call it like Pokemon They've run out of colours, haven't they?
Ebony.
I think there are more colours in the world than they've used in the games. They've used 10 colours.
Yeah, but they're going to start getting into the original red and blue like town names soon, like Fuchsia and Vermilion or something.
If they called it like Pokemon Pinstripe and Tartan and like started a new kind of series, and
I'd like to see
you
like
are a
Pokemon
completist.
Fury, like get rid of the
Really?
colours,
Yeah.
start going into the names.
Rage and Fury.
Pokemon Absolution,
Pokemon
Revelations. Yeah,
That would be good.
Yeah, man, if you're a completist, you've got so many games, Pokemon games to buy. Like, 2 more, Black and White 2.
All
Pokemon
aboard the money
typing.
train, say
Yeah.
the Pokemon Company.
Speaking of Pokemon typing,
Nice.
yeah, see what I did there? That's professional radio stuff. Who's been playing that? Oh, was that you as well,
Oh
Chris?
yeah.
Oh, look at you, all happy to do the little link, but you don't actually have anything to say.
I haven't played it. I was hoping someone else would jump in.
You've both played it, haven't you? Haven't you played it?
I played a little bit of it.
I played it for 10 minutes and then go, yeah, that's that. Good. That's the end of me and Pokemon typing.
Really?
Absolutely
Our
pathetic.
review,
There we go.
It's got a keyboard.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean,
What's to like about it?
well,
Learn to type.
yeah, but it's not about.
You're a writer. You do that all day.
It's not about the learning. It's not about the learning.
no, but
It's not about-
That's why he likes
you
he's
do it all
brilliant.
day doesn't mean you can actually...
If you're buying,
My dad's a lorry driver, and I can tell you, every time he comes home, and actually he does like to drive. Well, maybe you're right.
yeah, but the thing about learn with Pokemon Type and Adventure is you don't really learn much. If you're buying the game to learn,
Well,
how
then
to-
they're lying to us in the title
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Brilliant.
they've got the title wrong. But if you're,
But are you
if
learning
you're
how
What could you
Nah,
call it?
Are you not learning how to touch type? I don't know. I
you're
can't do
learning.
that.
I mean, they've got like 5 touch type lessons, but they're properly tucked away, and you don't have to play them at the start or end. It's the complete opposite of Black and White too, where it's like, oh yeah, this is all about learning to type, but never mind. Look, here's a Pikachu, catch him.
It
And
is
it's just like totally. So
On
it
the
just-
plus side, it is a really, really good little keyboard.
yeah,
that's
it's an
great.
awesome keyboard.
I saw your video where you can use it with your iPad. That's like properly impressive.
Yeah, nice little cheap.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It doesn't
keyboard.
feel cheap though. Like, you know, sometimes
no,
when you release
exactly,
stuff,
yeah,
it
yeah.
feels a bit plasticky and stuff. It actually feels like it's a nice little keyboard.
Yeah,
to
it's got a
type
good
on.
weight to
I
it.
do
but
wonder
mean,
what the thinking behind it is. You know, you're kind of looking at the DS. It's kind of in its sort of dying days. Not a huge amount of stuff coming
Yeah.
out for it, and they go, "What this really needs, what this really needs,
Is a typing,
is a
yeah.
touch typing tutorial branded with
that
Pokemon."
doesn't teach you.
That doesn't teach you to type. I tell you what it does teach you. It teaches you the names of the Pokemon.
Yeah,
If you
it
didn't
does.
know all their names before, you definitely will now.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair
noticed
enough,
that while
yeah.
I was playing it because it's kind of it's cynical in a way. It doesn't teach you how to type. It just teaches you Pokemon's names so you can go out and buy them.
Tell your parents to go and buy you them.
Yeah.
I liked hearing you get angry about the apostrophe in Farfetch'd.
Oh, that made me livid. There's a bit called Endless Tab Track where each
That's the bit that I like.
yeah each level in the game corresponds to a key on the keyboard. So if you press D, it says D Grassy Cove or whatever. And there's one when you press tab, you get Endless Tab Track, which just is never ending sea of Pokemon coming at you, and you've got to type their name quickly. And as the further you get in, the more the Pokemon appear, and they appear quicker, and you've got less time to type. If you can identify them before their name appears, you get extra points. So that's where knowing your Pokemon come into play. And if you don't, their name eventually appears, but it gives you less time to type. So I'm going mental, and then when you get to like 40, they're going appear, and you go like typing like a madman, and then a Farfetch'd appears, and it's got like an apostrophe in it, and I was like, "What? You didn't say anything about apostrophes?" And it sounds like the nerdiest argument ever, but I was
weird,
properly
isn't it?
livid. The air turned blue.
It's a
It's the
handheld
sort of
game,
language
isn't
you
it?
couldn't print in a magazine ever.
Yeah, it's not a handheld game. You can't play that like on the
No.
train. If you did, you look like an absolute mental.
Yeah.
Well, you have to play on my DS keyboard.
But it was, it was well reviewed in the mag which is on sale today. It should be on sale by the time you're listening to this podcast. But not all our readers agree. We have a rather scathing review of it from
One of our moderators.
one of our moderators who is a king. King
Slazo?
Slazo.
Slazo?
Slazo.
The king of the Slazos.
Joe, how does King Slazo talk, and what does King Slazo say?
Got me in trouble.
He helped. He's a moderator.
No. Joe does our
Don't-
comedy
yeah.
voices on our podcast, so give him a nice
I'm
voice.
actually doing okay. I'm struggling to think of a spin-off as bad as this one. This game is nowhere near the quality of the spin-offs ooze. Snap. Puzzle League and Challenge, Pinball, TCG, Ranger, Mystery Dungeon, Link, Coliseum and XD, Rumble, hell, even Pokepark is better than this.
Is he Morrissey?
Just from
No,
that
it's starting
comment,
about-
you just look at how much they absolutely milk the Pokemon franchise.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
We've got an awesome comment from someone called Matthew ONM.
I just explained this. I was in a rather grumpy mood when I saw this, and I defended our review in the magazine, but I may have done it in.
Can I say he was responding to the review where it does actually say this is one of the top 5 best Pokemon spin-offs.
Our reviewer,
of
Chris.
all
Who
time.
said that?
Our reviewer, Chris.
He puts it in the top
Chris
5, but I would argue, as this comment would attest,
That he needs to get out more.
No, that actually a lot of the spin-off games aren't great. So really, the top 5 isn't that hard to get into, you know.
Agreed.
So
Gav, how would Matthew speak?
Matthew, well, I've never done an impression of Matthew before, but if I did, it'd probably sound something like
There
this.
we go.
You've got to be kidding. I can't think of a more turgid waste of time than Mystery Dungeon, Ranger, Rumble, Pokepark, and the majority of Stadium Coliseum offerings. They're potent anti-fun, only kept afloat by the brainwashed masses who buy anything with a Pikachu face on it.
Potent anti-fun.
The brainwashed masses. I like the idea that
Pokemon.
Matthew's writing a Pokemon-themed Das Kapital.
I like the front. I must admit, I've used potent anti-fun many times. It's one of my little phrases. I think
Google that.
It makes me sound sort of intellectual.
One of my castle quips.
Yeah.
We should have a cheerier trademark phrase in that, though,
You didn't
because
mean that, though, did you?
Well,
That was a bit
I do
strong.
think that Mystery Dungeon,
But you're in a bad
Ranger,
mood.
Rumble, Pokepark, and the majority of the Stadium Coliseum offerings
They're-
are
they're-
bad. Like, I
yeah.
really, they don't do it for me. But I think the other spin-offs are, some of them are really good. You know, I think Pokemon Snap, absolutely tremendous. Had tons of fun
Pokemon
with
typing
that.
is not better than the Pokepark games.
Oh, it is.
Oh, well,
Pokepark is so simple, though. It's just-
Pokepark is rubbish.
This is a game that you've got to type words.
But at least
Yeah, but
it's,
have you
it's a bit different. I'm not
Have you
saying
ever
it's a
played Typing of
masterpiece.
the Dead?
Yeah, exactly.
Very stressful.
Exactly.
When those zombies are coming at you, you've got to type.
I know we type for a living, most of us, but it's still
It's nice to have some
hard.
time off, isn't it?
No, but it's hard. It's harder when you're typing when you're stressed. If someone appears and you got to type really quickly, you're more likely to make a mistake. You're stressed.
It is, it does.
Oh, God, I'm far-fetched!
No, it does.
How dare you suggest that when a Wigglytuff charges at me with his eyes beaming that I don't like get stressed and drop the odd key.
I'm a little bit aware that we spend more time talking about Pokemon typing than we have Pokemon Black and White 2. So
Because it's more contentious, because everyone's going to like Pokemon Black and White 2.
Yeah.
There's a debate around
Mitsu
Pokemon
Marshmallow
typing.
from the forum says, I'd love to see some Pokemon game that will make use of some of the 3DS features. I was expecting that with the release of Pokemon Black and White 2, but they decided to stick to just the standard DS.
Well, I mean, it does use 3DS features. It's just those features consist of buying extra stuff.
Yeah.
And
like the eShop
I think
games.
it's fair to say that. I mean, I can see why they did it
Yeah.
because obviously Black and White was on DS, so you know they released.
They've just
Black-
used all the same characters and stuff, I guess, isn't it?
I do like
Oh,
that.
well, no,
They would actually have to start from scratch if they had done
that's
one for
true.
3DS.
But also, they want to. They would argue that this is for people who bought the DS and don't necessarily have a 3DS, so they are reaching the widest audience possible with Pokemon Black and White 2, and they won't do it with the next game. So you can see exactly why they did it. You know, it's a bit harsh to release a sequel on a new console when everyone's got the other one.
Saying that though, at the Pokemon
I know
Pokemon
Professor Layton's
Championships,
doing that.
every screenshot I saw of the World Championships and when we went to the UK Championships, I would say 80% of the people there were playing on 3DSs.
But they're really
But they're
hardcore.
talking about hardened fans.
They're
there.
really,
I
really
know
hardcore people. who
Chris
go-
actually-
go
But
to
they're
championships.
the kind of people who are going to buy this though,
But
right?
at the same time,
Well, I don't know. You get a lot of kids buying this, you know? I mean, it's...
Yeah, I
But,
think Pokemon
I-
has a broader
Yeah.
range than that.
yeah, but at the same time, though, it comes to a point where you've got to accept that the DS is dead now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And,
No, but this is the last-
That is the perfect way to sell the new system is by bundling Pokemon with it.
I'm pretty
This
sure
is
we said this is the last thing when
this is
Pokemon
a-
Black
this-
and White
I
came
think
out.
this will
Yeah.
be the last thing for it, and I can understand why they did it. So,
And that's Pokemon
but-
Typing 2
And the next one...
coming
got to
Christmas
think will be
2012.
Pokemon Skyping. You just talk to the Pokemon.
Yeah, so that's the exciting world of Pokemon. You've got 2 Pokemon games to choose from, 2 DS games to choose from, so that's pretty exciting. So also this month we've had a little bit of Inazuma 11 Strikers on the go. This is also Chris, you've played everything this month.
Yeah, what can I say?
You always do Inazuma 11, don't you?
He loves
Yeah.
it. Look at him.
I can't think.
But this is quite different from the DS games, right?
It
This
is,
the
'cause
Wii one.
the DS games are really tactical, and obviously it's almost a kind of turn-based football game, almost in a way. But yeah, the Wii one's really disappointing.
really?
Sorry. I thought so. I mean, it's good. It's fun enough, but it's pretty shallow in terms of what. There's no real story mode as such, which is what makes Inazuma so
There's no
exciting.
story mode.
No, there's like they call it. I can't remember what they call
What's
it.
the
A career
best
or
part
story mode.
about
Or
it?
something. But
It's just a league, isn't it?
there's like 5 or 6, maybe 7 tournaments where you play multiple teams, and that's really it.
You think they're moving into like, they want it next year is going to be, are you going for FIFA, PES, or Inazuma 11?
They are out on the same. FIFA and Inazuma are out on the same day.
Really?
I do not fancy FIFA's chances against that.
I tell you what, the thing is, Inazuma tries to be
horrible.
tries to be absolutely mental. I mean, have you seen Shaolin Soccer? Like, it's basically that in game form, where almost every shot and every tackle is some ridiculous cutscene where someone turns into a dragon or
There's the one with 5 penguins.
Yeah, some guy makes 5 penguins appear and like chew on the ball, and then he kicks the ball and the penguins go rah. Alright, fair enough. But so it's meant in the first like 3 or 4 games you play, you go, this is insane, this is amazing. But then
There's no story or anything to tie it together.
and once you've seen everyone's cutscene, it can't be skipped. You're like, right, okay, every time you hit a shot, you've got to see him leap into the air and turn it into a dragon.
Isn't that like Mario Strikers?
Yeah, it is. But I mean, at least Mario Strikers had online and all this kind of stuff. And this clearly seems to be like a multiplayer focused game. So if you're like to like kids who watch the Inazuma cartoon, which is on CITV now, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They moved
Awesome.
it recently. Then you'll like this because if you've got a pal to play it with, then it's insane and it's a good laugh. But if you're playing it on your own, you're going to see everything it offers in a couple
Still,
of hours.
you say to a mate, do you want a game of FIFA? Do you want a game of
Inazuma
Inazuma
11
Strikers?
He probably will be coming around your house again.
Yeah.
Come around Chris's house. You always make me play that really weird game. Come on, play FIFA, come on.
It's good stuff. And we've also, rounding out our eclectic review section, Joe's done a right number on Miss 3DS.
Miss 3DS.
We're going to have one of these every month.
Miss 3DS is an absolute disgrace. Yeah, nearly swore.
Can't do that.
Basically, it's a port of the DS game which was bad anyway, and the 3D doesn't work. Like, you turn it on and your eyes fall out. It's the worst. Like, I showed it to Gav. I was just like, is something
Does it
wrong with
hurt?
my eyes? Yeah, it genuinely is
What
unpleasant
is it
to look at.
Is it too strong, or is it?
You can't handle with
they've-
3D.
Yeah, that must
With
be
your
it.
weak 2D
No,
eyes.
They've misplaced the levels. You explained it well.
Well,
I can't
they've
remember.
a lot of the time, like they've brought the left eye and the right eye too far apart.
Right.
So you're getting this parallax, which is like the game coming out at you, which is too much, and it's breaking like barriers that your eyes can't see.
Is it like
Technical stuff.
What
It's
did
dog
Pilot
chase
Is it like when you-
Wings
is it
do?
like
That
when
was
you-
really strong, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
is it like when you take
It's
a
not as
photo?
bad as Pilot Wings. Pilot Wings all the 1st games, I guess. 3DS has been out.
It's like when you take a photo with a 3DS camera and it isn't aligned properly.
Exactly. Yeah. It's that.
Yeah, it just makes you feel like you're on bad drugs.
As opposed to good ones.
Tixie Licks has gone past its sell-by
Yeah,
date.
Calpol. Calpol's a good one.
Antihistamines.
Purple Calpol.
Yeah, it's nice,
Not
tasty.
the pink stuffs.
Don't
That's
eat
stinking.
purple Calpol.
That's what we've
I
learned
did
from
that
Miss 3DS.
as a child.
Drink
I
it,
drank
though.
an entire bottle
Yeah,
and
don't-
had to go to hospital because I got really drunk.
I'll teach you.
Really?
That was pretty
Has it
impressive.
got
yeah.
alcohol in it?
Yeah, it's got like well for like I don't know, I was like 3 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got enough alcohol to get me
Yeah.
right off my trolley. It was crazy.
I once ate a packet of blackcurrant Hall Soothers, like sweets, and it gave me a sore throat. True fact.
I used to do
Whoa.
that. You're not supposed to do that.
No, you're not meant to do that.
I used to just buy them in the shops and eat them.
Why? Why? They're like
Because it
really,
tasted
really
nice.
I know
expensive.
what you mean. I'm
Yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
no, I don't mean all the time. I treat myself. That's like a daily ritual.
You deserve this, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole Soothers
I
kind
like
of
the
one.
idea that the soothers do the sort of vaccination thing. There's just a small bit of sore throat virus in everyone.
But eat enough of them, and man alive, you've got a sore throat going.
But yeah, Mist.
Moving on.
Also, Mist is a bad game. There you go.
Thanks for that, Joe. Well, you can read Joe's absolute kicking in the magazines. There's some other ones in there. We're not going to bring them up because it's just a bit sort of sad to kick the face off things again. In a
Picross
podcast.
is good though.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
is
that's good, yeah.
NES Open Tournament Golf, which I can't stop playing, and I need another game. 'Cause
Johnny Kung Fu. I like that.
Really? Yeah.
I like Johnny Kung Fu.
I beat Luigi. I was delighted. That was the moment of my month.
Career highlight.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Beat him with a
It was
golf
brilliant.
club.
Yeah, it took me ages.
Exciting.
Just wouldn't die.
That was my attempt to move the conversation along by saying exciting, which is a old castle tactic. So that's our kind of review section this month. Pretty exciting, as you can tell. This month we've also we've been playing a whole lot of Wii U stuff, not for the issue on sale right now, but for next month's issue, because obviously they've just announced the release date.
Yeah.
I don't think they had when we did the last podcast.
No, they hadn't.
No, they hadn't.
Which is all very exciting. November 30th. It's all going to kick off.
That's really soon, man.
It is soon.
Two months.
How many? Yeah, I know.
Like 60 sleeps.
Have you all pre-ordered your Wii U's?
Yep.
Have.
Yeah.
Which one did you go for?
I've actually gone for a basic.
What?
You're insane.
Yeah, because I want Rayman as my game. So I figured I can kind of.
There was a bit of a to-do in the office about Zombie U, and Matthew's very weary of it.
No, not weary. I basically just to sort of fill you in. We went over to Nintendo of Europe to play a lot of the launch day and launch window games. We played about just under 20 games.
Wow.
A lot of the launch day stuff and kind of new demos of things like Zombie U. And no, I was just saying to the guys in the office that I do like Zombie U. I think it's a really, it's a really nice sort of product, really cool game. Got loads of really cool ideas. But I do think some people need to adjust some expectations because it's a little rough around the edges.
It doesn't look good, but I think the gameplay of it
I just think
good.
people are kind of. It's great that people are being won over by its ideas and like how cool the kind of the use of the gamepad is. But I do worry about some people coming back from these events and going like, "It's the second coming," because that's kind of what happened with Red Steel, and it kind of bit people.
What happened with Red Steel, man?
On the ass, in the end. I just think people should adjust their expectations, but expect something cool.
Yeah,
I do think people need to remember that launch games are always. They pale in comparison to games 2 or 3 years down the line when developers know how to use the dev kits.
Exactly.
This is a brand new console.
So when you play Zombie U, imagine that studio, what they're going to make next. Like,
I think it's exciting.
Awesome.
I think it's very good.
I am the only person who's seen. I'm the only one who has any kind of. I've got nerves about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. I'm just nervous for it.
Yeah, I understand that because we haven't played it from start to finish. And
exactly.
And it's a weird game to play in a demo place as well.
It's quite slow paced.
And you die loads.
Every time I've played it, it's been with a developer there, like holding my hand, whether I wanted it or not. And just really sort of walking me through it, and we haven't really had any time for this by ourselves, really sort of explore and stuff like that. So I wonder.
The other interesting thing, just picking up on the point about how games will look better in a few years, is the amount of RAM that's been dedicated to the operating system is essentially far higher than it should be. Because I think what is being planned here is that obviously there's a gigabyte for the games and a gigabyte for the kind of Miiverse stuff in the background, and it'll probably not take up anywhere near as much as that at the start. And as Nintendo add new features, it'll start taking up more and more of this RAM. But I've got the feeling in a couple of years' time, Nintendo will just draw a line under it and say, okay, we've done pretty much as we want the console to do in terms of features. Just cut off some of that RAM and then tell developers you can use more of this gigabyte in your games as well, which will make the games better as a result. It's the kind of reverse problem that Sony had with PlayStation 3 when they ran out of RAM for the opera, so you can't like chat with someone who's playing a different game than you on the PS3 because it's ran out of memory to do it and stuff. So yeah, sorry, I was being really
No. The thing that's like
nerd. It's really excitement getting.
I think you're finding the gigabytes and triloflops are far greater.
Glass over the
Tom
door.
looked like he was genuinely asleep.
Who invited John Carmack into the room?
I just saw the excitement get sucked out of Tom's face.
One of the things
I think the thing is, Rayman Legends is the one that's
everyone's going mental.
I think it's going to be really good, and that's sort of just because Rayman, the other one, Origins, was so good. This just looks like guaranteed gold.
I think
I'm concerned about that now.
No.
Concerned about the single player stuff.
Definitely.
I know what
You
you
can
mean.
get some more friends.
I've got plenty of friends. They just don't like Rayman.
We had this last month with you talking about how you hate playing with other people. You just, man.
No, I just like.
You all right? You okay?
We'll talk about it later. No, I just like. I'm a single player gamer, so.
I've gone for the rule of thumb with Wii U games that if you can play it on the gamepad, it's not a good Wii U game. That's
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because I think, like, there's so many games coming up, like...
But loads of them
There's so many games that are just, I think, just really, really bad ports. So any of the games that you can play on a gamepad.
A couple of, but it's interesting actually because like Darksiders 2, for example, it's a little rough. That is a rough port at the moment. Like what they showed us, the frame rate was horrible. Yeah. But I will say for it, you can play it on the pad, so you can play the whole game, and it basically acts like a 360 game. Yeah. But when you're playing it with the pad and the TV. Having the inventory and all your gubbins, because it's a very loot-based game, on the gamepad, genuinely is brilliant, because I've been playing it on...
But that makes sense,
I've been playing it on 360, and it is so annoying having to constantly pause the game to adjust your inventory, and just being able to tap, doop, 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 all in real time is really smart. But, you know, but you're right in a way in that if you can play it just on the gamepad screen, there's very little incentive to add heavy gamepad functionality. But most games don't. Most games actually have made that.
Just going to be an
like Mass Effect, you can play entirely on the gamepad.
Yeah.
But having the big map on the screen and being able to like move your teammates around is actually quite handy, I think.
Okay.
I find the in-game orders a bit messy. So.
Yeah, I just think like with seeing people that have really genuinely taken to the gamepad and actually using it for really, really good stuff, mostly Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Then seeing a game where they've just gone. I don't know, what can we put on it? Inventory maps? Yeah, check it out. Fine.
Yeah, there's a
See, I'm torn because I agree with Gav to an extent that if I'm buying a Wii U game, I want to get the most out of the game and have that. But at the same time, if X Factor's on and I want to keep playing my game, I'd like the opportunity to do it. But and obviously something like Zombie U, I wouldn't.
Don't watch X Factor.
Well, that's not my choice.
Whose choice is it?
It's a bit of compromise in the house, isn't it?
What house?
My house.
Doesn't sound like your house. Sounds like your lady's house. You guys have a new pair of trousers, sir.
No, what can I say? A pair of trousers that blocks the X Factor.
But I think Rayman, on the day, Rayman Legends was the best thing I played. So
Listen to him. He's eating a double-decker.
I'm eating a double-decker.
That is a chocolate of choice, though.
It's unbelievable.
That's got the most ingredients, so that's good.
Well, yeah. The Fuse was better, but anyway.
Let's
not get into it.
I like Fuse. Anyway, carry on.
Fuse was...
I think Rayman was absolutely brilliant, but I did play a couple of new Nintendo Land things, which are also really good, and it's really driving me up the wall to see how many people are just instantly down on it, like...
Me.
There's this whole thing about, like, mini-games being, like, a bad word. I think people forget that some of the best multiplayer experiences of all time are, in effect, mini-games. You know, I'm thinking things like Balloon Battle in Mario Kart, Wobbly Bobbly in WarioWare on GameCube, which is amazing. Things like that, you know, I think a really simple experience that instantly speaks to people can be a really valuable thing because anyone can, that being able to play with anyone is actually a quite a special thing in a way. And a couple of the games are absolutely brilliant. Mario Chase or Chase Mario, I can never remember which way around it is so good. Like it's so simple, and it is, I think, the Wii U's version of Wii Sports Tennis. I think it's the game which you show it to anyone will instantly understand it's just a game of chase in a maze. Yeah. But it's so malicious, kind of having one person powered with the gamepad and the other four people struggling to find them. It's a brilliant power dynamic. It's really, really cool. I just hope people don't write it off, because people have a bad experience with pack-in games. You know, they go like, we play, it'll be over in an hour, but actually I think the multiplayer experiences are going to
I need to spend a little bit more time in Nintendo Land. You've sort of...
Yeah, well, we're doing a big feature about it this month. In the next month, the issue on sale, end of October. I hope people read it.
What I've seen of it so far is a bit hit and miss. I really love some of the games are brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong,
some of them aren't so
The
good.
Trials HD one is quite good, the Donkey Kong, but that's actually infuriating. You know, the one that's like...
The Donkey Kong, the single-player one's okay. I see why they have to put single-player things in.
I like the Animal Crossing Sweets game, that was quite cool.
I like the ones
I like Luigi, that was really good.
The ones that pitch players against the gamepad are the best. The single-player ones are a little... I like Balloon Trip Breeze, it's kind of cool, but it's... I can see that once you've got your high score...
You're not going to bar.
That'll be it, you know, but...
But this is Nintendo Land's strength to me anyway, because it's selling to developers as much as it is consumers. You know, you go in there and you find what you like and you find what works with the technology you've been given for the first time ever, and that's how, you know, the cycle will continue. So that to me is the most interesting thing about it.
I think people need to see past the whole minigame thing, because I'm just getting sick of that argument now. Like, minigames are games, but smaller, obviously. You're going to get good ones, you're going to get bad ones. People have
It's just unfair, because, some of the Wii games gave mini-game compilations a bad name.
Yeah, exactly.
All that sort of business.
Whereas back in the day, like Mario Party and stuff were loved.
Mario
Back
Party
when the first
9
Mario
was
Party.
still really, really
Yeah,
good.
I really
like.
liked it, but so many people just nowadays think it's minigames, forget it. Whereas back in the N64 days, that they were like, people regarded those as some of the best multiplayer games around. And I mean, see something like Bomberman back then was amazing. If Bomberman was a brand new game nowadays, it would be a minigame.
Yeah.
Because it takes 2 minutes, 3 minutes to play, and it would be stuck in some other adventure, and people would pass it off and say, I'm not even bothering with that.
Yeah, so there you go. A lot of games you love are actually mini-games by today's standards, so stop complaining about Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
Or else, that's the official Nintendo stance. So, that is what we've been playing this month. Next on to the Nintendo TV Roundup.
Nintendo TV time with Gav Murphy.
Hello!
Gav Murphy on the TV. Nintendo TV.
That's the jingle I get. Yeah, so this month is awesome. We've got Pokemon Black and White 2 and a chance to win a copy of Pokemon Black with a 3DS XL. If you want that, if that's your kind of bag, you can get in. No. That goes live on Thursday the 27th. And we've also got a bunch of interviews. There's an interview with CM Punk, if you're into your wrestling.
I had no idea who that was, but I'm glad you said if you're into your wrestling.
Did you meet him?
I didn't know. No. We sent one of our minions to go
he's a
meet
nice
him.
bloke.
Yeah, apparently he's really, really nice.
Pretty straight edge.
Do you all like wrestling?
No.
What?
Okay, good.
I've been a couple of times and it is awesome, but I'm not the kind of person who would follow it and stuff like that.
No, guess who's reviewing WWE 13.
I once reviewed a WWE game on Endgamer many years ago. I think it was the first one on Wii, and I know nothing about wrestling. It's the worst review you ever read. It's literally someone discovering wrestling for the first time. So it's all like, oh, you can hit people with chairs. It's all right, isn't it? That's quite jolly.
Please tell me one of those, like back in the day when I used to read I get excited about every wrestling game and I'd read the reviews and you can tell instantly someone who doesn't like wrestling because they always do it's men in spandex.
Oh no, I didn't do that. Like I genuinely like
Sweaty men.
Everything all my encounters with wrestling, I think it's quite fun and flamboyant. And I like the idea of it. I just don't understand any of it because it's been going on so long, and I don't know who any of the characters are.
It's like the sweat thing is a bit weird.
Yeah, but
because surely any men playing any sport sweat. You wouldn't read a FIFA review going, all sweaty men on a pitch.
Yeah, in shorts.
Sweaty legs.
What if I wrote it?
Yeah.
That's my sports. Rubbish.
That's all you know about football.
Pitch,
sweat.
It'd be amazing if the next Tiger Woods game just had commentary was like, oh, he's sweating a bit now. None of the hot Andrew's son.
But there is that in the game, in the episode, and the Pokemon Battle Squad final as well. So if you want to find out who won the Pokemon battle, and a trip to Las Vegas as well, which is insane. Like as a prize.
I wish I played Pokemon as a child.
It's Kid Icarus, sorry. Not Pokemon.
Yeah, that's why I was very confused.
Kid Icarus Battle Squad, sorry. It was awesome.
I did play Kid Icarus as a child.
Why have I written about Pokemon Battle Quest? This is unbelievable.
Someone gets sent to Las Vegas for playing Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus Battle Squad.
Come on.
Yeah.
Did you get to go?
Send him to Greece.
No, I got to go to the final. The final was awesome, like, because I went to one of the heats for episode 6, and I met a bunch of people there, and all the top players from there were in the final. We got to meet those guys again, and it was one guy from Birmingham Heat who was in the final as well. He didn't win, unfortunately. No. But yeah, it's good because a lot of people there have made friends over the Battle Squad thing, so there was like a big sort of contingency, and somebody won 5 people won the entire AR card collection.
Oh wow!
Like a complete AR card, so people were pretty excited about that.
As my little sister says.
It's sort of
how old is she?
There's a little bit of controversy as well, which I didn't put in the episode, but it's pretty cool. There was this sort of guy. There was this guy there, and he had exited or something, or an early, so they had to stop. And there was this one guy who was winning, and then when they started a new game, he'd made it for like 2 rounds rather than 3 or something like that. So they called it and went, okay, yeah, this is first, second, third, and whoever won now was going through to the semi-final, which means you automatically get the AR cards. But then this one guy complained, and they did it again, and then the guy who had got through didn't get through, and he was absolutely fuming. I've never seen somebody so angry. He's a big guy, man. Because I was going to try and speak to him after, but I was genuinely too afraid.
Did he go back to his hotel and throw around bum matter?
No, that's reserved for Pokemon events.
Again, mixed up again.
But yeah, no, so that goes live on Thursday the 27th, same day as the mag. And then next month we've got all kinds of exciting stuff.
That sounds like a great Nintendo TV, Gav.
Thanks, man.
I look forward to watching it.
You go so far as to say it was exciting.
Excited.
I don't
understand, Professor. Why are we going to help solve an inheritance dispute?
This is an altogether unique and exciting situation, and it has piqued my intellectual curiosity. There we go. Frankly, I'm ashamed.
Who genuinely has picked this question? Ryan Craddock. This is generally something that someone has asked as a question, asked out loud.
Okay.
It's not okay.
It's fair enough.
Do you need to have
fine.
your TV quite low in the
you
room
have
to
to
be
shout?
able to comfortably and successfully use the gamepad? My TV is quite high up in my room, so it would be uncomfortable to lift up the controller for games where you would need to line up the gamepad with the TV screen.
Now, to be fair,
Genuinely.
to be fair,
It's fine.
he's getting
No.
the gamepad mixed up with a Wii remote where you had to point it at the TV. And
He's
he
not allowed
assumes-
to have a Wii U. Sorry,
Well, he
Ryan.
obviously
You're not allowed to
assumes
have
that
a
the
Wii U.
gamepad is
But
the
what-
same situation that you
What-
point out.
what
What if
is
you,
the
no,
question?
hang on. What if you're like doing
we go.
things like going on the, on the internet using a gamepad?
Yeah.
Will you then have to hold it right up, high up in the air?
Yeah,
That's
but
what
it's-
he's saying.
It's not
Yeah,
a
that's what
Nokia
he's saying.
402. You've got to hold out the window to get signal.
No, he's
No,
obviously
no.
he's thinking stuff like Zombie U, where you hold
Game
it,
and
where you
Wario.
hold the
Yeah, it's
gamepad up
scanning
and
and
trick.
scan.
It's a
but
gyroscopic
but
thing.
Yeah.
he's thinking it's you point it at the TV like a remote, but
not
it's not. It's the gyros in the gamepad, so you could be miles away from the TV, not
Yeah.
miles away because it would lose the signal, but you could be not facing the TV and hold it up and it would still do the same.
What about
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
the Game and Wario game where you have to take photographs?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's all trickery inside the gamepad.
Yeah.
It's
Science.
not.
I mean,
it doesn't
it's-
actually have a connection between.
I think
the
it's a
TV
fair
and-
enough question for
I
someone
don't-
who
not a fair
hasn't
enough
played
question.
it yet.
But
Is that something that generally someone who's thinking about, like, it's a genuine worry for him? That's what's worrying me.
Oh.
That he's walking around
He
going,
just wants to know.
well, no, 'cause you got this guy. Like, you got a Wii U coming up. You get really excited about it. You need to know if you've got to buy new wall brackets for your TV or whatever. No, they're genuine. Like,
It's like, oh, I've got my TV
the
mounted
part-
over my bed
No,
upside
but
down.
part of the
and-
fun, like genuinely, part of the fun of getting a new console is exactly that. It's about preparing your room and
Yeah.
your space for it.
Well,
I love it.
Well,
Like,
we've done. Well, this podcast
No,
has
it's,
done a service now because we've
Yeah.
given him a cocktail of relief, knowing that it'll work fine, and
Yeah.
bitter embarrassment at having like torn a new one by Gavin.
This, by the way, was the guy that brought on a lot of talk about fannies last month.
Oh, really? I'm glad you brought it up again.
he's clearly
all right,
very.
I like him again now.
He's very
Oh, yeah, Fanny
excited about
Craddock.
Wii U.
That's right.
He said in his, I didn't include it
Son
on
of
the
Fanny.
on here. He said he's not related to Fanny, just to make sure
That's
everyone
what he
knew.
says. So that's Ryan's question answered. Thank you for your question, Ryan.
Yes,
say,
thank
say
you.
hi to your
Thank
mum
you very
for us.
much.
Yeah.
Don't send any more questions, Ryan.
No, do.
No, I do because we'll answer them with dignity.
Yes.
And won't mention your surname ever again.
Yeah.
Well,
Might do.
Maybe again.
definitely,
Carry on.
Definitely will.
So what's the next question, Chris?
Next question is from George Matthews. Do you think that Nintendo and Game Freak will release a Pokemon game on Wii U? And if so, how do you think the gamepad will be implemented? Now, he's obviously wanting us to answer
Yes.
with a proper...
Blatantly,
with a
they
proper-
will release a Pokemon game on Wii U,
Yeah.
Game Freak won't though. Game Freak didn't make a Pokemon game for the Wii.
didn't they?
Yeah.
No, it's because they only do the main games, which
Oh,
are handheld
did
ones.
who does this? Who
Genius Sonorities.
Have they
Who did the
categorically?
It's an
Pokemon
ironic
games?
name.
I want an ironic name
did the
for the
Poke-
creators of
Did they
Pokemon
do the
Battle
Pokemon
Revolution.
games?
Sound of gunshots.
Zing.
Have they categorically ruled out the idea of a main
Yeah, they
stream
said we
Pokemon
hate the Wii
game
U.
that's not on a
Yes.
handheld? They've said they'll never do
Pretty
that.
much.
Suda's
yeah.
very
That's fair enough.
clear.
I think
on
it's
the
really
handheld.
good to have something like on your 3DS.
It's
you know.
clear that everyone wants a Pokemon MMO, and it's clear that it's never going to happen. So let's just forget
Yeah,
it.
or some variation on what they got with Colosseum. You know, the sort of lean towards an RPG
Yeah.
in 3D and everything. Just not another stadium. The stadium games are so bad. So bad.
Well, the Battle
You're just
Revolution
paying
one.
for a 3D representation of something you've already paid for. Like, I don't get the point. I don't get
I
it.
have a page-long article in this month's magazine about why you're wrong about that.
Yeah, you do.
But
Stadium, like on N64, was it N64?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that a lot.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
magical.
This is you're silly.
you
silly child. You silly child.
Well, that's the thing. At that age, you
Yeah,
were like,
that's fine.
it's
Poker Park's probably
What
good at that
year
age.
did that come out on N64?
I don't remember.
Like 99 or something?
Which one?
It's about 14,
Yeah, it was
15.
Stadium,
something
the
like that.
original.
Yeah,
It was
99,
Before I
2000.
discovered girls. What else am I going to do? Can't booze.
Like,
Didn't know about
obvious what it
girls.
is. It's just
Pokemon Stadium.
I don't know. Just the 3D rebuilding of something you've already got. I don't get it.
No, but it's good though.
And it's less.
It
than
makes
what
you
you've
makes
got,
you
'cause
feel
there's no
like
story.
but it makes you feel like I don't know,
man.
like that's your stuff.
But
Like,
there's
that's the
different
thing
things.
that
You
I
might not
bought.
want
It's
to go
on
through
there.
a 100-odd-hour story. You might just want to battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you've played Pokemon Blue for like that long, and it looks awful. You look back on that game,
Yeah.
and it is a terrible looking game. And then suddenly, like, those are your Pokemon with their stats and their stupid nicknames and whatever else, and they're all on the screen and
In
doing
3D.
stuff. That was amazing.
And that was probably that was the best graphics we'd seen at that point. So
I can appreciate that, but that was like 60 quid back in the day. It's like, is it 60 quid's worth?
They
of
were
amazing,
really,
like,
I
seeing-
think they were really playing on your love for that game.
Yeah.
Like, in a cruel way. But there you go.
I
You fell for it, more for you.
I think I agree with you, but basically I fell for it and I loved it. Like,
Yeah.
there was no problem
it might be a little,
with
it
me
might be
liking
quite
that.
cynical, but yeah, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, it wasn't as good as WWF No Mercy, am I right, guys?
That was awesome. Yeah.
Thanks, Gav.
it was no rocket robot on rails. Am I right, guys? No. Sound of tumbleweeds. So how would we use the gamepad for Pokemon if there were one, which
There
would
won't be.
You would use it to select your team and put little Pokemon figures on it at NFC so Nintendo can sell 500 of them.
I'd buy them.
I would buy them.
I like the idea of you being able to look inside a Pokeball at the really cramped, like, Charizard inside, just like screaming. Oh, let me out! And, Kill me! And, that to me would be a real selling point.
What do you think happens in a Pokeball? This is something that keeps me up at night.
It's like TARDIS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They've got a little like bedroom.
It's like a proper paradise. They actually,
They're playing Pokemon Stadium.
it's like square miles inside there, and when you take it out, it's actually gutted because it was enjoying it. That's why it's ready for a fight. It's like I was working out there. I was like having a drink with the lady, and you're taking it out, and
There's only one of them in
No,
there. It's quite a lonely existence.
Hopefully they'll be able
Yeah,
to tend
but-
to their wounds in there because,
well,
after getting
but if they
flamed.
well, they can. That's the thing, like, because you have to take them a Pokemon Center,
you
so they're
have to.
sitting injured in the ball, and I don't
But how long
understand
would
how they
be?
can be
They'd be
healed.
injured for ages.
I like the idea that they're just in this beautiful paradise of their own mind,
Going-
just bleeding.
With a broken leg, it hurts, and then
It hurts.
I can't enjoy my mojito.
but then when you take it to Pokemon Center, it's not like they come out of the ball, so there must be some sort of beam goes in their whole Pokemon paradise, or maybe just some big needle comes in into their world from the sky and jags them in
Do you
the
think
bum.
they know when they're about to get summoned? Do you
Yeah.
think it's like a real shock? Like he's just reading
Yeah,
the
I
paper
think a big-
and then all of a sudden you're in a battle arena.
I think a
and
big
you've got-
national. I think a big.
Oh no! What?
I think a big national lottery style hand reaches into the world and pulls them out and just
you.
tosses them into the world.
Imagine doing
It's
that
like
if you're in the middle of, watching Downton Abbey or whatever.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, boom.
Downton at Krabby.
Just making some
Oh, having
making
it.
some scrambled eggs. And, oh no, I've left the eggs on.
Come back, there's a chip fire.
And then when you kind of summon it out again, it's like it's all burnt already. You know
Yeah.
what?
So to answer your question, George,
Yeah, so George.
no, and we don't know.
But here's a flight of fancy.
Next question is from
This is a good question.
Amar Parvez. And Joe, would you like to read it out?
Yes. Wii U is backward compatible with Wii. Does that mean you can also play online, Mario Kart Wii, etc.?
No.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, but I thought so.
This is the thing. This is why I put it on, because it flummoxed me. I don't know whether
Well,
you
it flummoxed
can.
all us, and now it makes us feel like we don't know what we're talking about.
I don't see why
It's
you
not
wouldn't
our
be
fault. They
able
haven't
to.
told us anything about
Yeah,
it.
I think how it's been explained to us anyway is that the Wii backwards compatibility is basically it goes into a Wii mode. So basically the whole thing, the Wii U emulates a Wii as such. It just becomes a Wii, which means that ultimately I don't think you'll be able to stream them to the gamepad. It won't work like that.
Yeah.
It'll just play on the TV.
No, they've said. I think I've read that you can't play.
Yeah,
it.
That
So,
was,
like,
that
if
was
you wanna
with
play
regard
your-
to downloads as opposed to Wii backwards compatibility.
Was it?
But
Okay.
I don't. That may well be the same thing.
If you play your VC games and your WiiWare games, you'll have to go into this Wii mode as well. It's quite clearly a separate, sort of self-contained thing, but as such, it should mimic the
online stuff then.
the online stuff in.
Well, it's just like when you play a DS game or a 3DS. Like you've got your separate online settings for
Yeah,
the
exactly.
DS, and
Yeah.
when you start a game on that, like you say, it essentially goes into a DS mode where you lose all the 3DS functionality and everything. But yeah, so
There you go. There you go. A question we actually could help with.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's
Gav,
good.
should you not be slagging them off or something?
1 out of 3.
No, it's a genuine something.
Ain't
I'd like
bad.
to know that.
Yeah, just yeah.
So thank you for your questions, readers. Keep them coming, and we move swiftly on to our competition.
Right, so last month's prize in the competition was Office Tat, which is better than it sounds.
You really pushed the boat out when I was away then, guys.
Absolutely. That was Chandra's idea. There's E3 lanyards, all sorts of stuff.
Rare
E3
stuff.
lanyard.
Rare stuff.
Stuff you can. There's only one of in the world.
From E3 98.
What's an E3?
Relive the Game Boy Advance all over
The reason
again.
I didn't say anything beyond E3 lanyards is because I don't know what's in the package.
I think we're giving away a set of the exclusive Nintendo Land badges that they were giving away at E3 last
That's
year.
quite-
They're
that's quite
actually
a
worth
promise.
a lot of money.
Yeah, you cannot buy those, but you can
that's
sell
all right.
them for a high price.
That's quite a promise.
How do you know?
Let's not give those away. They are actually worth a lot of money.
Whoever wins this competition right now is won that
They're
stuff.
rolling in it.
It was nice of us to tell them.
All right, I'm back on board.
I think we told them last.
Did we?
I think Chandra went over it. I
Nice,
just-
nice of them to listen.
I've locked mine away because they are, like a Nintendo rep told me, like people have been coming up and trying to buy them off them at E3. Mental.
So there you are. So, well, for the people who didn't win, the runners-up, you came very close.
What do they have to do?
They won an
This
E3
was,
lanyard.
sorry, yeah, of course. In the spirit of Iwata's weird Kirby collection of tat, last month's Nintendo Direct, we asked you to tell us what item you'd make. Sorry, Matthew, stop eating Double Decker.
How much of that is left? It's just a good chocolate bar.
Oh, it's very distracting, so I want one. Tell us what item you'd make to promote an upcoming Wii U title. So, Max Higdon, this one is a bit weird. New Super Mario Bros. U should have an exclusive pre-order bonus of a Mario meat pie. The first 10 pre-orders, 10, that's like nothing.
This is meant to be a shop or anything.
The first 10 pre-orders will get a Mega Mario meat pie.
Nice.
The other pre-orders will get a medium Mario meat pie. Plus, people who buy the game on launch day will get a mini Mario meat pie with the option of a peach pasty.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
That guy's obsessed with meat pies.
Does he mean,
What has
does
it got
mean
to
a
do with
pasty?
anything?
Does he mean a pasty with peaches in?
Yeah, I guess so.
Or
ground human.
Does Mario eat?
Exactly.
I think he's
doesn't he?
vegetarian.
It makes
Is he?
Well, I
He
don't
only
even.
eats mushrooms.
I don't even understand. That's not a collector's item because that would just like go off in
Yeah.
a week.
He didn't say
It
that
might
it was
not.
edible.
This
This is a
is
Frey Bentos.
this is
they
why Max
survived quite a
Higdon
long
didn't
time.
win.
Yeah.
Since it was edible, it was just
Special
like
Mario
a plush
endorsed
pie.
Frey
A
Bentos.
plush meat pie.
Right. The next runner-up,
Or a
Jordan
pork pie.
Bird. Jordan Bird actually sent us quite a few of these, but I've just selected some of my favourites. So, bundled with the Magnificent 101 should be the Disappointing One, a game where you just wander around by yourself not doing much.
That's awesome.
Zombie U has a free Zombie Reggie action figure, which utters sayings such as, "My body is dead, and I like French food." What's the French food about?
No, he said that.
Did he?
I only worked out the other day. The reason he was saying it is obviously because it's Ubisoft Montpellier,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. I only worked that out the other day.
Clever
Give me
girl.
your Reggie memes, Joe.
Of course. And every other game comes with a non-specific action figure.
Nice.
So, and the winner. This is quite special. The amount of people who suggested this same thing, by the way, is pretty insane. But Alex
Why
Jones
didn't they
went to the most effort with his, as you'll find out. My idea for a promotional product is a Zombie U-themed potion that actually turns you into a zombie. It seems that Ubisoft also had this idea, but health and safety killed the project and all evidence of it was erased. However, at great risk to my own life, I recovered a mini podcast recorded to promote these potions. It stars O&M podcast regular Chris Scullion. In it, he discusses the potion with a Ubisoft rep before giving it a go. He even takes time to insult Chandra in his former job at O&M.
Let's listen to
Right,
this.
shall we?
This is mental.
It's a bit odd.
Go. Is it tasty?
Hi, welcome to the special promotional mini podcast. I'm joined by O&M's
Loud,
Chris
sorry.
Scullion. Actually, saw you work for Nintendo Gamer now, don't you, Chris? Used to work for O&M though, right?
Yeah, that was my job, but
It's like that South
it's
Park
nothing
episode where
compared
they
to
put
what I'm
all
doing
the
just now,
sticks
so I'm
of
glad I
together.
finally got this job.
So, we're here today to talk about Ubisoft's promotional product for Zombie U, which is a drinkable potion that actually turns you into a zombie. Some people are saying this is dangerous or tragic. How would you respond to that, Chris?
Tragic, but it's just genius.
Brilliant. So what would you say that these potions really bring to the player experience then?
They add credibility, which is what games need just now to kind of put them in line with movies and being accepted as equal forms of entertainment.
Absolutely. This is definitely something that adds realism. Is that the main selling point, or...?
Or something quirky and strange that not a lot of people have seen.
Okay, so I know you're going to try the potions in a minute, but can you tell us what people look like when they are zombified?
Like Chandra.
Oh,
Like
Chris.
Chandra. Well, let's see. Are you ready to try the potion now?
got a nice supply of stuff here. So let's see what we have.
I'll talk the listeners through what's happening. So Chris is necking back the potion like it's Iron Brew right now, and oh wow, Chris!
Whoa, you crazy son of a...
Chris, stay back, Chris!
In fairness,
that is awesome.
That is amazing. Really well done.
In fairness,
Alex, that was really funny.
In fairness, I was turning into a member of the Undead at the time, so...
I'd have liked it a bit more if it'd been like, Chris, do you like bums? And just had you going, yes. See, that would be the level that I was on. So Alex taking it to the next level.
No doubt that'll be next month.
That was really good.
It was really well. I honestly don't remember saying some of those things, like even in the context they were originally in. I don't remember the thing about the job. It must have been when I became games editor. It must have been from YouTube or something.
Fair play, Alex.
Yeah,
so
nicely.
I think Alex recorded you whilst you were sleeping. You just mumbled
Yeah,
away
that
things.
does happen.
It sounded like you were
tragic.
I'm glad he's getting the badges. Alex, those badges.
Yeah, he
awesome.
really deserves a cool tat.
Thank you very much, Alex. Now, for this month's competition, the prize is FIFA 13
You mean
for the win.
Inazuma 11, yeah? That's the big football game.
Yeah, maybe.
You should have said FIFA 13 for the Wii.
Yeah, well, if you want to win this fantastic football game, you just
the
have
review's
to tell
going
us.
up on Friday or Thursday. It might not be fantastic, but enjoy it
Fantastic.
anyway. It's a free game.
Fantastic.
The functional FIFA 13.
The word you should take from that.
Please enter this competition. We want you to tell us which sportsman should have their own non-sporting game and what it would be.
Oh, like what? Like
Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu. You remember Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City? Side-scrolling platformer where he throws basketballs at people.
Unbelievable.
So, to enter, just email onm@futurenet.com with the subject heading Podcast 39 Competition. And if you can record a small mini podcast involving Chris. You'll win.
So is this basically every entry is going to be, it should be Wayne Rooney's professional interviewer. Here's an example of him interviewing someone.
Yeah. So that was the official Nintendo Podcast 39. Pretty good episode.
Good.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking through that. We hope you enjoyed listening through it. Of course, if you have any topics you want us to discuss on the next podcast, you just email us at onm@futurenet.com with the subject heading podcast questions. Issue 87's out now, only $3.99. It's absolutely rammed with stuff. We've got a massive Layton preview in there. We've got loads of really cool Wii U access. We've got our first Zombie U making of diary. It's absolutely rammed with stuff, all the Wii U launch details. I think it's a pretty good issue. We're pretty pleased with it. Of course, you can go to our website, www.officialnintendomagazine.co.uk, where Tom is constantly updating with various delights. And you can also occasionally get staff members to write mean comments about your posts. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/ONM_UK and Facebook at Official Nintendo Magazine. And of course, there are staff Twitter accounts, which is just our names followed by ONM.
Apart from me.
Apart from Tom, who is, and Chris, who are difficult. Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll join us again next month and have a good month. That was terrible, but farewell. Bye.
Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Bye bye.
Do, 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 do.